Right, we start season number 3 with £88 million in our transfer budget, a good enough wage budget, and we're already making moves. Well, we aren't. Ralph Rangnick is our perfect director of football, our best director of football, as we've called him. However, Maxence Lacroix, a very good French centre-back. We've got a couple of them already. I'm guessing that I don't know why he keeps wanting to sign better and better centre-backs, fast, quick centre-backs, but there we go. We had a bid accepted up to £47 million, but the contract was rejected of 105k. Jesus. And a couple of days later, so did Andy Pelmard. He has contract rejected. His 90k after a £22 million bid was accepted. However, he is now moving to Manchester United, so I don't think that he would have rejected it outright, whereas Lacroix was more of like, no, we need to have more money. I think he just decided to go to Manchester United instead, which at this point, fair enough. On the 11th of July, we made a move for Jose Fontan, £11.75 million. Ralph Rangnick had his bid accepted. He is a centre-back who can also play a left-back. Doesn't exactly strike me as a first-team player, to be fair. I think he would probably just sit and rot on our bench. However, by the looks of it, he rejected us as well. Only a contract of 22 grand a week. I can definitely see why he has rejected that. So far, Ralph Rangnick has tried to get 3 different players in the door, and all 3 of them have rejected. Tricky summer window. Not to mention as well, we've also had a name go out the door in Lewis Bate, which means it's taken our transfer up to £92 million. Of course, we've got Tom Bischoff, who has joined on a free transfer, as well as Oscar Terenzi, player that you probably haven't ever heard of. Some good and some bad news. 22nd of July we're up to now, but on the 20th of July, Tanguy Nianzou rejected a contract of only 32 grand a week because of the wage, signing fee, and appearance fee. And he decided not to try and renegotiate that. Did Ralph Rangnick. However, it was for a £23 million bid. I'm kind of good by that. He's actually quite good. But again, it's another really quick and good French centre-back. But the good news is, Illan Meslier has signed a 5-year contract worth £22 million. That's a very good signing because, of course, we had some massive offers coming in for him last summer or the summer before. And yeah, thankfully, he's decided to stick with us. Now, some more news then. On the 22nd of July, George Cuenca is the target for Ralph Rangnick, and a bid has been accepted and he has joined us. £71,000 a week. Is he a £71,000 a week player? I'll let you be the judge of that down in the comments. I think he is a good player, left-footed as well, but we do have, like I mentioned, like 3 or 4 really good centre-backs, which I'll show you in a sec how good, strong depth we are at centre-back. I don't know whether he will be a first-teamer. That's the trouble. Other things, though, we have had a player leave the club as well, so we still got £73 million. George Cuenca joined us for £17 million. On the outs, we got rid of Robin Koch. We got Koch out. We got our Kochs out. Robin Koch has left. He's gone to Borussia Mönchengladbach, the 27-year-old German. So that's a centre-back out and a centre-back in. I would rather have just kept Robin Koch, really. I mean, I know George Cuenca is probably a better player, but Robin Koch plays in a number of different positions. And obviously, like, George Cuenca is still good, and bringing him in is fantastic. But if I had to choose between the 2 of them, I'd probably go with Robin Koch because, like I mentioned, our first team, we've got some really good centre-backs. George Cuenca and Nell, we've got Kamara who can also play there. Yeah, I just don't think we really needed it. Now, on the outs, we've actually lost Pascal Struijk, which I didn't actually mention because it happened right at the end of the season. It's the reason why we have a lot of transfer budget, but £42 million Pascal Struijk left the club. So that's my bad for not mentioning it at the start there. It's a massive amount for a very good player, but I still think we don't really need another centre-back. We could have just kept Robin Koch and he would have been our 4th choice centre-back behind Kamara and, of course, the 2 that we've been playing time and week in, week out. But more transfer madness is on the way. However, before we look at that, today's video is sponsored by SPITCH. Yes, SPITCH are the brand new fantasy footballing app that you can download for free on your mobile devices. You have to be 18 years of age or over, however, because you can actually win money, even though you can download it for free. It is for the UK based or Ireland only as well, and if you take a look at the top of the description, there's a link which will take you straight to downloading it on your mobile device, and it helps support me as a content creator too. Underneath that, you notice another link. That's to join my community league. We're having tons of fun in my community league, battling out against each other every single week. My dad get really competitive now because he started overtaking me, and I'm not really too pleased about it, but I did make some mistakes of picking Cristiano Ronaldo 2 weeks in a row. He didn't score any. I took him out of the club and I put Harry Kane in and Son because Dad put him in and he scored loads of points for them, and then they did nothing and Ronaldo scored a hat-trick. So yeah. But the best bit about SPITCH is that these transfers, I didn't have like a limited amount of transfers. Every single week, I can just field a brand new team based on who I think will score the most points. That's what makes it even more fun. Everybody's team is definitely a lot more random what it would be in other fantasy footballing apps. And all the statistical analysis is on the app as well. So make sure you try out SPITCH because it is a ton of fun. And it doesn't matter that you're trying it right out at the end of the season. Maybe try it out to the end of the season, see if you like it, because in the next season, we'll definitely be starting it from week 1, and that's where we can compete on a week-by-week basis. Like I mentioned before, at the top of the description, the first link will help you download it for free. The second link joins my community league. Thank you very much to everybody who's been joining and enjoying playing SPITCH, and thank you to SPITCH for sponsoring today's video. Right, we've gone a little bit further on, and we have made a couple of signings, as well as sold a couple of players too. So Patrick Bamford has left the club, £9.5 million there. Like I mentioned before in the last episode, he's 29 now. I know a lot of Leeds fans would be a bit disappointed with selling Bamford, but when we played him, I just couldn't get any goals out of him. No matter what role I was trying to use him in, could not get the goals out of him. So we have made another signing in Felix Raphinha, who I actually think is quality. I did a video based on him, on how cheap and how good he actually is. That pace, very, very scary. He's not the best well-rounded striker. Of course, he is very young, so £4.2 million, I think, is a great little bargain there. But what we do have as well is we've got some other names that might be coming in the door in Mohamed Kudus from Ajax, £12 million. We've just got a contract waiting for him. Again, it's a quality centre mid or centre attacking midfielder. Now that we switch to the 3 centre attacking midfielders, we kind of need to bolster the amount of players that we have there, and he will be a very well-worthy addition to the club. Oh, speaking of new players, by the way, we've also signed Thiago Almeida. I can't believe I missed it as well. It very much come under the chaos of pre-season, but what a bloody signing that is. Thiago Almeida, speaking of centre attacking midfielders, £17.5 million. It happened right at the end of last season, and yeah, I can't believe it. We've managed to get one of the most legendary wonder kids that Football Manager has had in the most recent years. And the first game of the season has been played against Newcastle at home. We were victorious, thankfully. Raphinha there with a very early penalty. He has been playing up top, and for this reason, he cuts past all the defenders and chips the goalkeeper. He has that skill and technique to score goals like that. It's absolutely fantastic. But this is a very good build-up play for the third goal. Junior going in there, Junior Firpo, and smashed it, and we've seen him score quite a few goals like that. Those inverted wing-backs are very good on both sides for doing this, and we didn't concede until the 93rd minute. Alejandro Francis, and I'll let you in on a little secret. I didn't show it in the last episode, but we actually put a bid in for him, and he rejected us and went to Newcastle, and he scored against us. It doesn't matter, we picked up the 3 points. Well, on the 21st of August, we made a move for Lorenzo Luca. Quite interesting how a lot of director of footballs go for Lorenzo Luca, isn't it? £15 million it was stored on, but to begin with, for Lorenzo Luca. Pisa didn't know what to do, and it turns out, yeah, we're still negotiating. Can we get that deal over the line? We'll find out soon, I guess. We are offering 50 grand a week because there's a massive, obviously, transfer to bring him in. The Kudus bid was accepted. His contract was accepted. He has joined the club as well. So far, we spent £33 million plus. The Thiago Almeida 17 million, but we've also sold quite a lot with that Pascal Stewart going, counting on last season's one. So a huge bid being made for what is a star striker, and it's about time. We really do need another striker in this team. We are in the transfer deadline day then, and we've just had a massive offer, £52 million for Raphinha, which was rejected by Ralf Rangnick. Real Madrid coming in with a lot of money there, and he's not too happy about it. to be fair, which I can understand why. Obviously, he is a star player for us. That move to Real Madrid would be massive for him. In the prime of his career as well, and we're not even playing him in position. We don't even play a position that has catered for him on that right-hand side. And now that we have Lorenzo Luca, will his game time be crushed from that or not? Maybe we'll have to start training him in that centre attacking midfielder, unless, of course, a bigger offer comes in and Ralph decides to sell him. Good lord, he's not the only one who's got some big bids coming in for him. Boubacar Kamara, of course, we signed on a free transfer in the very first episode in the first season of this series, and now he has a £27 million bid come in from Borussia Dortmund, which was rejected yet again. He hasn't kicked up a bit of a fuss, but I think that was their second bid for him in this transfer deadline day with only 5 hours left. Will they come in with another one? Well, we've still got £50 million in the bank, so I mean, at the minute we're not really doing much. The Lorenzo Luca deal is done. £15 million is the signing. Here is our new striker, 22 years of age, Italian, and I'll show you as well. We've obviously played a couple more games after the Newcastle game. Blackburn, who managed to get themselves promoted, we beat them 1-0. Thiago Almeida in the 81st minute, and we played Rotherham in the Carabao Cup with a bit of a rotated team. Facundo Farias and Lorenzo Luca, and just so you can see the progress of Farias in the couple of seasons that we've had him, 21 years of age now. Yeah, he's not bad. He's not amazing. I don't think he'll be starting many games, but he's good. A good squad player, to say the least. Well, the transfer deadline window has closed. The bids were rejected. No further bids were made. In fact, even lower bids were made after that £52 million. So yeah, that is our transfer window. Now, tactically, we're going to stick the same thing. The only thing I'm securing right now is Kamara. And of course, I'll be simulating up until the January transfer window. I have changed a couple of roles, including that target forward. It used to be a pressing forward. It's now a target forward because Lorenzo Luca, of course, is a fantastic target forward. And at set pieces now, I'll be aiming for that near post, which will be the striker. So what I'm curious with is whether Raphinha will play as a target forward, whether they'll play him in that shadow striker role, because we've got a few players who actually play in there right now, Jack Harrison being the best player that we have there. And I need to assess when we come back in January who's been playing what and whether I need to secure any more positions. But for now, Kamara slots in there because most of the time he plays at centre-back, which means Simikan doesn't play, and I want Simikan to play. That's the reason for Kamara being secured in the DM role. And then Calvin Phillips can, or Fran Beltran, or even Handel can play in the Roman playmaker role. We are in January. Now, originally, I was just going to bring you back at the end of the transfer window. A few things have happened, but nothing to bring you back as of note. And then 7 hours left on deadline day. Borussia Dortmund come in for £45.5 million this time for Boubacar Kamara, who has excelled for us this year, by the way. A 7.25 average rating in 20 games after being secured in that defensive midfielder role. And again, it was rejected by Ralph Rangnick. A huge bid rejected. I'll show you all the other stuff in a second, but again, it's their second bid, 37 million to begin with. On about 2 hours later, they came back with £45 million. So yeah, I'll bring you back at the end and we'll discuss what's happened. Right, the transfer window is closed. Now, we do have a few players going out, including Rodrigo and Luke Ayling, which does worry me because we don't actually have any right backs now, and we are quite lapsed at full back on both sides. So if Firpo's out injured, which he was at the start of the season, then we are going to really struggle. Borussia Dortmund also came in for Anel Ahmedhodzic. They really just wanted a centre-back for £90 million. Again, Ralph rejected it, so not too bad. But there has been some activity that has happened. We have signed another defender, a left-back slash centre-back in Renan, the Brazilian. Not a bad little deal here. I don't think he's progressed as much as what I'd hoped. £5.25 million when his name popped up. We've had a few players, going out, including Helder Costa for £2.75 million. So yeah, not a lot of going ins and outs in January, but still, how have we been doing? Let's take a look. Competitions wise, we're currently in 6th place on 41 points. That's joint with 5th place. We're just slightly behind the top 4 there. We have got Aston Villa in the 4th round, and we've just been knocked out of the Carabao Cup by Manchester City in the semi-final. Yeah, we've been very unlucky. We lost 3-1 on aggregate and crossed that semi-final, and we were actually in 4th place up until we got to January, where we've had a terrible time. We've lost against Arsenal, the 2 against Manchester City. We then beat Leicester 2-1. Jens Peter Hawk and Stuart Dallas with the goals. We then lost to Manchester United and lost to Aston Villa. Of course, we've got to play them soon in the FA Cup. So we've got a bit of a hard end of the season there, but there are a lot of like teams that we should be beating, which will hopefully see us in some European football slot at the very least. Tactically though, I'm going to stick with Lorenzo Luca up top. I'm going to play Raphinha in that centre attacking midfield role because I wasn't happy. Raphinha actually played pretty much every single game up front. He did score 14 goals, but then it meant Lorenzo Luca barely played, only 4 games, and they were all from the bench, and he only got 1 goal. We need to make the most out of Lorenzo Luca. He was one of our big signings this summer. It's the end of the season then, and we've managed to finish in 7th place. We have just scraped into those European spots. We've got an EC2 spot for next season. I'm happy with it. We can see that's some massive signings now in the Premier League. Lewandowski, we've got Darwin Núñez at Arsenal, Rafael Leao at Manchester United. There are some big boys now who are around the clubs that we are competing against, and Arsenal have won the league, shockingly. So in the 3 years, we've had 3 different winners. The last 4 years, all 4 different winners. Not one of them is my club, Manchester United, but we're there. We're fighting in behind Newcastle, of course, who are spending a ton of money, so I've got to be happy with that. And I will show you like the transfers this season. £66 million for Newcastle was Illich. We got Chiesa going to Manchester City, Jared Bowen going to Liverpool, Michael Olise going away from the Premier League to Juve, Todibo going to Newcastle. There's a lot of money being splashed around here, around the Premier League, as expected. And now we need to get ourselves in and around that as well. So let's see then other competitions. How do we do? Well, we got to the FA Cup semi-final, and yet again, it was Manchester City who knocked us out. Very disappointing. Now, you will notice that we're only 2 points away from Newcastle, and the last game of the season, we got absolutely knobbed 8-2 by Liverpool. So, yeah. We kind of threw away, because we also drew with Everton and Tottenham, we threw away a place in Europa League next year. But we're still in EC2. That's the main thing. We're still in a European competition that we can potentially pick up a trophy next season. Let's see whether my tactical change in January made a difference with Lorenzo Luca. If we look at goals, I would say so, yes. He started 23 games. He scored another 12 goals. That's not bad. Raphinha got 21 goals in total. Jack Harrison got 13 and Yankov got 11. Almeida's a bit of a weird one there. I don't think he played that well, Thiago Almeida. Almeida, I don't really know. So there's a few players here now that I'm thinking, yeah, we can afford to lose now, and maybe look to increase or replace, next season. But the likes of Simikan, I'm really happy with. He's had a fantastic season for us. Trusting him to play centre-back alongside Ahmed Hozic, who's played majority of the games at left centre-back, and I'm guessing Cuenco has also played quite a lot as well. He played 41 games at centre-back as well, so they've chopped and changed in that position. Exactly what I wanted to do, because then everybody stays happy, and Kamara has been absolutely phenomenal, a 7.23 average rating there, and now he is wanted by a couple of the big boys in the Premier League. But what do we have to look forward to next week? Well, the transfer budget, we've been given £50 million and 227k. We do have one guy joining, Liam Becker, which I'm not really too excited about. He doesn't look amazing, but of course we've got 3 players leaving the club on a free transfer to free up some wages, especially Rodrigo, who is on quite a lot, 100k, so that frees up a little bit of wages as well from that. So Raphinha, this is going to be a very busy summer. I hope so anyway, and I hope you come back and join us for that episode, which will be, of course, next Wednesday. The full season will be again next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Thank you very much for watching. Smash the like on the video if you can, and check out SPITCH. If the video's already out, I'll stick it on this screen right here.